welcome everyone from lovely Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. And we've got Norma Jean in North Van and Chastia. Explain where you are in the world. You're in Texas.
I'm in Little Elm, Texas, made from Freddie himself. Right above Frisco. I'm right by Frisco. I'm 30 minutes from the Oklahoma border up here. I'm way up in Texas.
Okay, awesome. We've got a bunch of people popping in already. So you guys know who we are, Adventures for Connection, and Chastia is with CoHue32. We've got Shay backstage right now, and we're going to be chatting about the specific energies going on at this moment in the chart. And so there's a reason why all three of us are in different positioning and what's going on. Yeah. And I've got a full on like me right here right now. So this is important. Yeah. Looking forward to it. So yeah, we've absolutely got Just Fritz. Hello. Good to see you. Bayeth. Good to see you. Kreba. Sherry. Awesome sauce. If you've had your CoHue chart done, get it out. Because this will be important for you. Yeah. Yeah, we've got some questions.
On the floor. These just fell on the floor.
Okay, well, let's start there.
So CoHue32 is all your star seeds from every direction that were ever made and connected into Earth, which you would call a mammal or a man. And that's the wheel. So there's more star systems, but I mean, truly, the outside of the Milky Way. This is why we know everything is so vast. There really is vastness, and what's interesting this week too is that negative physics. Scientists have proven negative physics now, and here's how it happened. They went to go do an experiment on time, and the effects happened before they did the experiment. At the same time that we have 43 rhesus monkeys living their best life in South Carolina right now, and the rhesus Rh negative is what the rhesus monkey and that whole thing came from. So it and I saw those videos like in the same day. So what's happened with CoHue32, and these are when you get up to these energies in space, and these are these different dimensions that we talk about and timelines that we talk about, and the reason that we have all these dimensions and timelines is because all of us are time capsules. And we all have different energies that crisscross, or are coming straight from these 32 rays. And you can break it down, and it really all is color, and it's how color gets here in the wheel. It's why yellow isn't seen in the higher houses in the wheel. It looks peach. It's how this color spectrum even comes in, and even over the last week and right now, we're literally clearing through mirrors and screens and this 1952-53 date where the color television came on.
My mom's birthday in a couple days.
I know. And you were just there. So these are all if you have gotten your chart, okay, then please go grab it. And what we want to know is if we're going to do one with Shay's, we're going to start out and have Shay do one. And she's going to pick one of the energies that one of her planets lands on. Because remember, each planet is just giving off a different energy sequence to that energy. But it's still the same energy. And that energy is going to be read in many different dimensions in different ways, and us picking up the message in many different ways, and it showing up in many different ways. So the three of us in three separate locations, what we're going to do then is grab the questions and read them and tune, and we're going to command to tune into that energy. And then I've got some hats and some stuff over here. I don't know. We're just going to tune into the energies. I'm going to change the colors, and we're just going to see what happens and talk about them. Yeah.
Let's do this.
And I think it'll be interesting at the end of all this, which energies we end up doing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sounds
All
like
right.
fun to me.
Shall we bring Shay in?
Sure. Yeah.
Shay, you're on.
Hi, Shay.
You just have to unmute, love. I got
Sorry.
you.
Hey.
You're okay.
So we're doing my thingy.
I want
Yep.
you to look down right now and say, consciousness, clear my head. We're all doing this right now. Let's tune. We're going to tune. We're just going to consciousness, tune us to these energies and have our connections cleared, and for the energy to come through and us to show everyone how these different energies are affecting us in different ways in different dimensions.
The one
And-
I'm drawn to is empty.
Which one?
The one I'm drawn to is empty.
That's never empty. It
14.
So which one is it?
14. 14. Okay. 14.
But I don't have anything in it.
Doesn't mean it doesn't affect you.
Let's see something real quick. So number 14. That's Virgo. That's the new Regulus Virgo count, which
I
is
picked
basic.
myself.
See, do you have a lot of Virgo? I can't remember.
I am Virgo sun.
Okay, so this you pick that energy because right now with Leo is getting a rewrite. Now we know that Libra always held the DNA codes for all the different Leo counts of the human races over large spans of time. That's why the Regulus 33, number 13, is whatever that was Leo, and Regulus was in Leo, but the energy was coming through the body down here, and it was only coming through the body up, not connecting all the way down to the person. When Regulus went into Virgo, it created that back door. So Virgo number 14 is the new Regulus degree, and it is purple and yellow. Do you have the card?
I do.
Show them purple. Show them number 14 if you can. And it's lavender and yellow. And go ahead. I'm going to change some colors over here. You can start reading. So
Okay.
what Norma Jean's going to do is going to ask you some questions about this energy, right? See if anything rings true.
Okay. You ready?
Mhm.
All right. Do you make the lights blink?
Occasionally.
Technology shut down?
Occasionally. I can't wear a watch.
Thunderstorm?
Okay. But recently, just kind of think back. Recently, did you ever go in a bank? Have you gone into places and they're like keying your stuff in, and they're like, "That's weird. The computer just shut down."
I have it every day at work. It takes me 10 minutes. Yeah.
Okay. Do you have memories of being connected to all royal lines?
I would say, yeah, because I think what I grew up in escapism was actually real or past.
Ding, 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 ding,
And
ding,
it-
ding, ding.
And it involved time travel.
All right.
Ding, 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 ding.
Do you feel like you mirror others?
I'm going to say something that seems really odd, but when I've looked at myself lately, I feel like I look like, as far as physically, I look like Chastia sometimes.
All
And I
right.
do mirror others, as evident. Yes.
All right. Do you feel others' pain and emotions?
Oh, God, yes.
Can you feel the energy as soon as it enters your field?
Yeah. Now, recognizing it sometimes is a different thing.
All right. When someone throws negativity towards you, do you fire back or hold it in?
I'm learning to be authentic, which involves firing back in a responsive and appropriate way.
Because in this energy, you can't hold it in. See, and remember, all of us are completing the wheel. That's why I love it that you picked one that wasn't you. Because yes, it is. If you don't have this energy, you're supposed to have it already connected. Remember, there's a thread that runs through the whole thing. So what the wheel, when it's all connected, does is it helps you build up your etheric body from the bottom half, connected into everything that's in the matrix, and da 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 da, because it's what it is. And then whenever you get to Libra, now we've got the collective body that's actually taking over this part, and now it's all working together, and it's moving kind of like this, right? And it's moving up, but each one of us is having to clear out of the wheel. And at number 14, it's all about put your crown on. You got to remember, you're royal. You energetically, your guides and everything else, this is that tough love stuff too, in a way, just because whenever you enter Virgo, the further that you get into Virgo and you get that direct way to 3 degrees Pisces and Fomalhaut, which is the cosmic eye, that's where my Venus was. So I was looking straight up at the eye. That's why I can see, but it's that straight alignment. Then whenever your etheric body takes over, and it's like a mixture of all 4 archangels in one energy at a higher current. So it from the other side coming down from the angelic realm, from the starseed side, and you're thinking about those branches of families, because this is where in Virgo you start talking about not just the families that were Melchizedek and da da da. How about the other ones that everybody else forgot about that y'all are descendant from? Right? And so those currents are meeting in the middle, and you're energetically charging up to it. And this is where your energy is also, it's running through the currents. So it's where you have to learn how to keep yourself emotionally stable.
I just realized something. When you said charging up, I had a deer charge at me, not at me, but across my path. And it's all lit up to today.
Well, and I don't know if I told you, but deers. Okay, I want to know, Tanja. Ask him. I want you to ask him though. For some reason, I need you to ask him how many have seen the deers, or if there's been other animals.
Yeah, I would say, how many have had run-ins with considered wild animals? Let's use that, which is nature, which is shifting at this time too. Yeah.
Or even a deer this week. I've had 3 of y'all come and tell me Kirsten saw 2 deers this week. Another car I was on the phone with 1 of the girls. And then that was like 3.
Carolyn almost hit 2 deer on the other day on the highway.
Now, see, this is also a Virgo conversation. This is number 14. Okay. But this is just a Virgo period conversation. When you're energetically coming through a natural cosmic gate, that energy looks kind of like a deer in space, like one big, like a fawn. It you know how, because remember, this is Virgo. It's like the power of all the archangels hooked into one, but a high frequency that's controlling the top and the way bottom. So whenever you're coming through that gate, a deer will pop up in front of your car.
Yeah. Fascinating. You have so many people responded. Baby deer, fox, 10 hawks.
Hawks, yeah.
I saw black bunny. Black bunny's my claim to fame for the day.
A woodpecker showed up for me today.
When you're clearing this energy, when your energy bombards, you don't really notice it as much unless there's like a grid shift, or if you're traveling around, right? But when you go in a new energy frequency and the crows are like, whoa, whoa, That's because all the your energy field is breaking up the carbon in that area, and the crows are like sucking it in. Then you'll start seeing hawks. Then you'll start seeing eagles. Then a hummingbird will show up. And it might not happen like in the same day. It'll feel, but energetically, it's going to go through that entire clearing process, and that's how it's showing it. The bird's showing up because of the frequency in the carbon layer.
Beautiful.
All right. How has the Mayan been a part of your journey?
Yours or mine? I've always been fascinated with the Mayan. I don't know. When people talk about and I always get it confused. It's not the Aztecs; it's the Mayans that put the gold under the lake. Am I thinking about that right?
No, I believe that's the Aztecs you are talking about.
Well, I think
the Mayans, yeah.
I think it's both of them, really, because the whole South American thing is, I've always wanted to go down there, go to Machu Picchu, see the whatever, and just be, because if I think about it, it's like I'm standing there.
And whenever you're in this, because this is the beginning degrees of Virgo from 0 to, what did I mark it at?
0 to 4.
0 to 4 degrees Virgo. So this is at the very beginning degrees of Virgo, which is going to take you like all the way out in every single DNA count that Leo ever walked down here. So a version of a mammal or a man. It's going to take you all the way up and then all those connections down. And then so you're attached to that from head to toe. And that's basically kind of like the Sophia template, that our energies are all like all forming, right? This is the energetic body that you're stepping into to pull out of the wheel.
So when I'm like thinking I'm looking at the Akashic records, I'm not. I'm really looking at the cosmic of everything.
That's the cosmic infrastructure is what held the Akashic records.
So it's beyond that.
If there was no cosmic infrastructure, there would be no Akashic records. The problem down here is that heaven really did fall into hell, or the matrix crashed in on itself, or the simulation crashed in on an organic platform, or a spaceship came down. I mean, it all of it's true, depending on where you are in the bubble energetically and which way what you're watching coming in, because it's all going to hit these energy frequencies in different patterns and waves, especially when it's held down. It's whenever our energy's in here moving it now. The point is, like, all these energies are coming at us at the same time, which make its own little magic frequency, right? But the Virgo part of it is kind of it's like you come out of Leo and we're all kind of stacked in a big body, a collective body. And then but it's all the energy that was stored up in Leo and all those connections into Aquarius connected down into Virgo, because I mean that's how it works in the death rebirth process in the simulation. That's how everything was still birthing and happening and da 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 da.
I can see connections between, when you talk, I can see connections between Leos and Aquarius. I see the similarities. Yeah.
Well, the Leo is getting backed by all his ancestors. See, that's and the number 13 degrees. Maybe we should do that one next. The number 13 degrees is the old Regulus count, and that's the one that's on the 33D. It's all your kings and queens have it. If you want to think, and all the descendants that are attached into them as you start backwards into Leo. When you I 20 degrees Leo to me is the red carpet. So what that means is everybody that's now after 20 degrees is holding a connection to these royal counts, right? Like the original royal counts that were holding the, and then all the ones that were made in this last evolutionary count. So there's like your duke or a duchess or a madam or, you know, whatever. And then the further that you get up to the dead on 26 degrees, then that's those royal lineages. Well, on the opposite end, that's Cygnus. Just means that they've been here longer. They got more dead people on the other side.
Okay.
You know? But
So-
all that energy coming from Aquarius into a Leo is what makes the Leo all Leo.
You need some leopard skin.
See, I'm even tuning into it. I'm even putting some sexual energy into it, and I'm like breathing in the Aquarius. I'm breathing it back to you. You know, those Leos, man, they got a certain thing about them, right? Is like you just can't look away. Sometimes it's like looking at a disaster, but you just for some reason cannot stop looking away. Well, that's because on our subliminal codes, and we saw these in the screens when we were clearing this in 2018. No, it was 2018, into 2018. And all of our codes were being pulled out and we were catching it on video. You have little flags in your aura field that's attached to Leo. So subliminally, when you know how people walk up to you, and especially anybody that has this energy at the beginning degrees of Virgo or Leo energy, the further that you get up, how everyone comes and tells you all their problems. And it's not even an empath thing to an extent. It's just like it's like you're the help desk.
Yeah.
100%.
It's because what they're doing is you have those royal codes. So innately and subliminally, just because you don't see them doesn't mean they're not there. They're coming out of your DNA. This is why they wanted all the DNA sequences. They're coming out of your DNA and they blast little flags. So subliminally, you're just calling in all these different races of beings that know that you have their best interest at heart. And that's what true royalty is. It has nothing to do with castles. It has no. In fact, they can keep all that shit. I'll run it from my little room until the lizards are gone, you know?
Right.
But working this, connecting into these energies is what allows us to do that, because we really have been doing that. The collective's been running the world from our bedrooms.
Absolutely.
Is there more questions?
Yeah, we're going to hit with 13 now, right? We're giving you guys examples. Can I remind you, please, if you have something in your chart that is drawing your attention right now, put it in the comments because you're next. It's not that we'll pull you up on stage, but we'll do some reading with you.
Yeah, we're just tell us, or if there is a star system or energy, if y'all want us to read through some of them and see which ones y'all want to talk about. If you don't know the different ones, but these are the ones, examples are going to be Arcturus, Lyra, these ones you've heard of, Sirius. I mean, this is, you're finding out if you are a starseed from there. What we're going to show you is how that energy affects you here. Because a lot of the times you get so lost in the space conversation and you don't realize that it's a processing current, and it's just each one has a lot of data in it with different processings of the wheel.
Now,
Like,
how do we know what to do with, like, what are we supposed to do? Like, how do we know our ultimate purpose? I mean, I guess I worded that wrong. Never mind.
the
Answered my own
process
question.
of you merging these energies into, because the frequencies are going up and up and up and up. It's pulling you up. The cosmos and the planetary system is now working like a cosmic machine in an evolutionary cycle. It's shedding the energies. It's transmuting in these different dimensions. It's pulling your energy up because you're connected into all of them at once. You're in your own little bubble that's tuned to specific ones. Then you're in a collective bubble that all the planets are moving through, right?
Mm-hmm.
So as you come out of that, as you come out of each stage of that, you start seeing and learning through your journey of getting out of it is how you start realizing what your mission is.
So this is how I understand it. These colors that we don't have anything in, we've kind of mastered. That's who we are. That's our energy. And the ones that do tell us what we got to clear. But then opposite, like Virgo to Pisces, it's what we're going to look at. Whatever's opposite that is why we have that in our field. Does that make sense?
Yes. Whenever those energy rays hit straight down in a wheel, stuck in a system over time, Leo, when you died, you went to Aquarius. Cygnus is heaven. It's as far out as you could get in a cylinder system. So over time, what the wheel is showing you how it was done over time that created those houses. And that's why it works back and forth from each other. That's why whenever you're doing the astronomy, it's that energy's coming through. You have to also remember that you were in a wheel. So the reason that you programmed a lot of Leo is because you're probably all Aquarius. Whenever you get into the wheel, if you're all Aquarius energy, then you gotta have Leo energy in your chart, because that's what makes you show up and print the character. Right? So, but that energetic out just coming in to a field when you're in energy is you're gonna lose all your money at some point in time in your lifetime.
Already done.
You're gonna
Done.
lose you're gonna make it just this, and this is Regulus 13. She's fixing to read the question. So read the questions. This is Leo.
All right.
This is Leo.
There you go. All right. So, do you have the ability to convince mass amounts of humans of just about anything?
No.
That's people with this energy. And you don't ever even realize that's what you're doing. If you were really good at sales, if you just got excited about it and you believed in it, and others started believing in you, I mean, this is why, because you're in those upper decan of Leo, and you have connections and you can accidentally overtake them, and you can accidentally make people do things that weren't in their best interest because of the power of your energetic and the physical, and it will get your karmic, it'll beat you up in the karma, because this Regulus degree is all about collective energy. You're royal. You're not supposed to be here just for yourself. This character, and see, this is where all of like the industry twins fell short, because like this character right here that all the dead are projecting to the celebrity stage are supposed to be sending specific messages, and it's all supposed to be helping them. In the beginning, and the way the old movies even were set up, it was in a way helping them. It's when it started going undercurrent and it started getting all you know, da 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 da, because everything that we've just experienced is what happened at the end of days. It's not why it was originally there. So the character is produced by the collective, whether it's in an industry machine or it's happening collectively. So you're going to learn lessons, and that's why we lose a lot of money, because we get all too into ourselves. It's really easy to do if you've never had anything. If you've never had anything and you come from nothing, and I worked my butt off to get here. It's mine. It's mine. I did all the work. This was all me. Yeah, payroll. Yeah, I need to get payroll out. How many on? About 2,000. Okay, I'll write those checks later. It was all me. I did it. That's Leo. But that's it. But that's even just part of the development process of a person going from just a daughter, a mother, into somebody who's creating something, in order who then is running some type of group, whether it's a church or their business or whatever it is. And now they're coming up in the wheel, and it's like, and then their career is going on. That's just that first time that you get successful. And what happens? It goes to your head. Like, you can't even help it. It's a natural process. But if you get stuck there, then you end up binding yourself into Virgo so deep that then, you become the next Gaia in a million years. So, okay, I'm done with my skit.
Perfect. We got a whole bunch more questions going on now. Thank you guys for putting yourselves out there and asking for what you wanted. Yeah, so that's great. We will go through these. We do see them. Go ahead, Norma
And we don't
Jean.
have to do Regulus 13. That was a good example. But see, that we don't even have to do that one, because Regulus energy is this, right? Regulus energy is this. Okay.
Low.
0 degrees Virgo is Diddy in jail. That was my life. Supposedly people are still in my house. Supposedly, but I'm like right here, and now I'm living in this reality, but that life's still kind of going on, that it's that's that energy. So then as you get up into Virgo, it's like you start then whenever you understand that how you hold yourself, what colors you do, and this is why even all the original pioneers that came over in the United States, and all of like our grandmothers and stuff had like these little freaking pins, lapel pins. You know how they all had lapel pins? You know why? Marks your energy. If everyone's dressed the same, and in the energetics, and you're walking around and you're dressed exactly the same as everybody else, I mean, like, exactly, there's nothing on you that stands out, and they were marking their energetic. That's and in Virgo, they're working as a so in Virgo, it's like you've got your ass kicked so freaking bad for being too Leo, that you remember how royal you are, and now you're more careful with your movements, because you're really starting to see how you're changing everything. And then the more you'll get better and better and better and better at it, because you're just reading in these in betweens.
So I think, Shay, I want to add into the question you're asking and the answer. Just, it's this whole thing about being so observant that you're picking up on the nuances of everything going on around you, because you will start to see patterns, opportunities, and you're seeing some, you're manifesting some already, because I know you. But we all are so mind controlled to chase. I need to know with the mind what's going on, and we want to lead with the heart. And so it's, hey, I'm a Leo, it's me. I'm trying to be patient. Ask a Leo to be fucking patient? You've got to be kidding me. Right?
If I had the tarot cards, I'd put it up right now.
But this is where we're at, and what I think is important is, and I'm learning to live it. And I'm following my intuition. I asked about the hotel we were at today. I'm sharing the information that's relevant. So keep sharing what you see, what you feel, because it is all extremely important to building what you desire.
And right now, y'all, this is some freaky weird ass energy we're in right this second. That's why I'm on here making fun and freaking. I told the girls a couple of days ago, I was like, we got to do something fun. This energy right now is freaky weird, and it feels a little stagnant, and it's kind of like everybody's waiting to see what moves everybody makes is what's happening right now. It's like a galactic game of chicken chess.
My tablet is going crazy.
and
It was like
part of that is being patient, because something's going on. Am I gonna insert myself in this energy, or I'm gonna wait and make sure that it's right for me? Discernment with the energies is extremely important right now.
And the best thing that you can do right now is to relax. And if your mind is messing with you, you need to lift that current up above you. So I've been telling everybody to 528 hertz on YouTube. There's a DNA one that I really like that I can put on the Telegram group. But then the other thing that I've been telling people to do lately that we hadn't done since 2018. We had to do this a lot in 2018, but see, now y'all are kind of like a new group coming in, so it's making sense. Go to YouTube. I'm advertising you. And go to Neptune frequencies, Saturn frequencies, Venus frequencies. There's one that's Venus and Mars. Neptune frequencies, and listen to them and see if one takes the edge off. And you don't even have to put it on loud. It can just be real soft in the background. But what it's doing is lifting that energy off. Neptune is really good for sore throats. Like, you'll find that those frequencies adjust your fields from, because it's these frequencies are the same thing as giving you opium or anesthesia in surgery, but from an energetic perspective. So you numb the body in order to not experience pain. So you put the body in a lower dimension in order to do the surgery. So some of these like Neptune sequences and ones you might, and that's why I go listen to a few of them, because if your energy's too high right now, you might need to bring it down a little bit. And you're learning the alchemy of how to do that. So put the Neptune, you might need that wah, 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 or the 528 hertz. That's what it does, because it basically allows the healing process to happen like slow motion, and it heals everything like 20 times faster.
Awesome. If you can put some of those in the Telegram group, that'd be super helpful. Let's try the 32 hybrid space station, which I also have.
Okay.
So do
I
I.
got to start reading the questions.
All right.
Oh, wait, hold on. We tuned to number 32. Okay. So what are the degrees, Norma?
Pisces, 20 to 25 degrees.
Okay. I mean, this is right before you finish the wheel. So remember, whenever you come out of Aquarius, we come out in one big blast of like a deity entity. That's why Gabriel's the first gate that you go through. Come in the first of Pisces. Then what happens is this is where the separation is, because you're gonna split. We were in we was already in two collective currents by that time. One's gonna go this way, one's gonna go this way, right? So it splits right there, and then there's like a twine that keeps those two collectives together until they completely leave, because then and then there's those connections down here until they go this way, right, that were left behind. So this is I call all the old Zeta degrees hybrid space station degrees, because Zeta Reticuli and what that whole thing was with the Alpha Draconics and the Zeta Reticuli is all they did. You have Archangel that goes from Pisces, it's number 31 Fomalhaut, and it goes down to number 13 or number 14, which we just talked about. Then the other one is 9 degrees Sagittarius, 9 degrees Gemini, and it makes an X. So what Zeta did was make an X, and they put up their own 4 posts around it, just off a little bit in mutant degrees, which created a backdoor into the wheel into the processing of the body. And this is how we ended up having zeta reticuli and alpha draconic and all these different energies that now these new body types have. But that's why we also have these crazy superpowers that people still can't believe that it's possible that you're really changing your reality, but you are. So this degree is right before you finish the wheel in Pisces, and it's that you're in one group way that's about to come back down, right? And it's like you get tricked into thinking you're in a space station. You can read, yeah.
Go ahead. All right. Do you have an affiliation to space? How so? Being on a ship or looking out at planets or both?
So y'all, who has this energy? Which one of y'all?
This
It's
is
actually
Kreba.
Norma Jean and
Well, I
Kreba.
have it. Kreba.
It's yours, not mine.
I think Norma
I'm
has it. So
22.
Norma, what's the answer to that question?
I know that I've been in places that I was in. It seemed like I was in what would be considered like flight. Now, you know, of course, in my mind, I'm probably thinking it's plane, but that doesn't mean that it doesn't say it's ship. So as far as like what I've experienced, I won't say that I'm looking out at planets or both, because you can ask T. I go outside every night, and if it's a clear sky, I'm looking up at the sky. Done it for ever since I can remember.
Right.
So it's always, there's like something always calling, it seems. It's just see me. Here I am. Notice who's here kind of energy when I step out and I look up at the sky.
Right. Is Kriba on? Did she have a response to that?
Let's see. Yes to those questions, she said.
Yeah.
Okay, what's the next question?
Can you sometimes feel energetically trapped?
It's like, notice what I'm putting on. Like when you see those movies, we're talking about those movies.
Yep.
How movies relate to this, like Passengers, that movie with Jennifer Lawrence or whatever, or all the ones where we're in our little jumpsuits on a ship.
Yeah. Yep.
All working together, trapped in space, Star Wars.
All right. Do you somehow feel your life parallels space programs or missions? There are times I have visions.
Realize too that in Virgo 25 degrees, so Virgo 25 degrees, it's not a star point, but everything in the wheel matters. We're just, because those energies mix. Once you understand what these energies are, then you start understanding what's going on in between.
Right.
So that's galactic command. 25 degrees Virgo is galactic command. So
Okay.
when you're talking about your higher self, and you're talking about the squad that your higher self's on, you're talking about being in the middle, right?
Yep.
And even Ashtar command, that's galactic command stuff. See, that's going to be what's projecting to the collective, and that's what you're calling in to connect to. But it's also coming from Zeta.
Yeah.
And we're all over there making sure you get the message. Even in this. All right, it's time.
I've seen it.
Line up.
I've seen it. I mean, I've had visions where I've told T multiple times. I said, you know, it's like I keep seeing that you and I are standing right beside each other. We're standing in front of this big board, and it's like sometimes there would be something that would take place, and I'd look at her, and or something would take place with her, and I'm like, hey, you did it from the other part, from where you're at. It has nothing to do with me. That's you getting your attention, you know. So
well, here's another example of the crazy of this. Okay, in the higher realms, when you're like a dragon and you're like the process of the, like you're having to rebirth the cosmic system in a planet, and you're in those Egyptian energies that are all laid out with other people all over the world, and you're doing this process, then there's going to be times that I've got to pour into you, you've got to pour into me. And it happens in your ethers because you're clearing those channels. And for me, there were two people involved, but I know that y'all are seeing images of this too, of you pouring it in, or a dragon that's putting their breath of fire, the breath of water, and then you're giving it back to them. And in this sequence, it's off. And there's even like taking the milk. So just kind of like the deer, there's another process in this where a lot of people will have their mouth open, and they'll have fluid somehow flowing into their mouth, is like a natural process. It's like the first milk. But in the weird Zeta reality, y'all were being held down in your ethers and dreams, and people spitting in your mouth.
Ugh.
So there was even like depending on what current you were on and coming into, they're the same cosmic events that are happening, but one was in it's almost like too, that energy was, because it was a forced awakening, even it's almost, but in this energy, it's you really, but this is also whenever because the rest of the wheel was set to cut you off from your etheric body. How the whole thing was set up for you not to have an etheric body. It was an after death wheel. So how are you supposed to know that your body is a spaceship? How are you supposed to know that you're Jonah's whale? But this is the story. Jonah's whale's been up there so long, the Zeta Reticuli just took it over. So there's even processes of this, if you don't even have this energy, that it's like, if I come around and I'm like, okay, I see a whole bunch of people in your room. This is your room. Like, you're the commander. You're supposed to be, hey man, I see your energetic body. You're asleep at the wheel. They're just having a party in there.
Yep.
You and it's like I'm going, yo, you got to stand up, and I'll make you in your physical reality stand up and go, that's it. Everybody out
Yep.
now. What time is
Yep.
it? Because I just said it. Everybody out now. 6:51. 111 on plan. Because your etheric body is what they're all existing off of. All you got to do is wake up and remember, oh shit, I'm in command of this.
Right? Okay, minions, out. I'm done. You've had
So
fun long enough.
it's not to anybody, and in the wheel, just like I took on, like in my line, I took on Alpha Draconic.
Mhm.
I was a purified being, and I took on Alpha Drag. That's why I was gone so long. We had to process that energy through the human field. A bunch of y'all took on Zeta. This is even the Eisenhower letter that's going to be open next year, that they opened a long time ago, and that was the problem, but it'll be open next year. And this is what Trump, because this was always a big, massive, this was the human race, like saving the human race. Everything that's ever been done in human history has been to complete this wheel.
Yep.
Can we just go back to basics for 1 minute for a few people that are on here that may not be totally grasping it? So explain the wheel one more time, and then the star rays, because you did a beautiful description of that. Not everyone is tapped in as we are, having already done charts and already playing in it.
Nash would be a great example. This is even the name of a star. This is why there's Nashville. Hold on, let me turn the light back on.
Okay.
Stars really are only seen from ground when there's a human energetic that matches it in the realm. So that's why in the Bible and the whole thing with the Sirius star and Joshua, that's Cancer. And what that, when he showed up, that's really like Sirius B or Sirius A. So the heart or the mind showed up. It manifested. And we knew Joshua was the pineal gland. So whether or not they killed him or not, if it was a true story or not, because the rest of the world thinks it is, it has been so for a really long time, because it keeps getting manifested that way, because it's how it all works down here.
Yep.
So whenever you're attached to and what it's doing is showing you what race, all the stars, because Pleiades, here's the Earth. Pleiades is right around it. So because it's the orbs right around Earth. So whenever you have Pleiadian energy, which there isn't very many here, it's actually the least starseed I see. Your energy is the energy of all the humans and all the subcurrents that are running on the outside of Earth, and it is your field. It's a communication network, and it's passed through your frequency. You're like a speaker, and you pick up. This is why they're so good at communication, can pick up the chatter. But then their sexual energy is transmuting, and because it's binding with that energy that's all coming in from out here, out here, out here, out here. So the Pleiadians, from the star point aspect of how long humans have been down here, are the babies. And so then the Pleiadian becomes the grandbabies of all of the energies that are coming from Sirius, because nothing was moving. So all the energies that were coming from Sirius, all the energies that were coming from Vega, all the energies that are coming from here, then end up making the Pleiades. The Pleiadians just going to have all the connections of all them. So that's why the Pleiadians got like a mixed bag. It's why they're a speaker system. So these energies are coming in your field since you were born. Whenever you look at your natal, it's why it's. Let's do. Has anybody asked to do Orion?
I don't think
Not
so.
yet.
No.
But go ahead. Shay, if you want to pop off, love, and just listen, you can, and you're welcome to stay on too. It's up to you. Okay.
Thank you, Jay.
Thank you, love. We appreciate you.
The point is, all these energies were playing out in your life the whole time. It's why you dated the bad boys. It's why
Yep.
you felt like you were underground. It's the dreams that you had. It's why you met the guy who told you he was a time traveler. It's those energies coming in are sending a very specific message, and how the human blood reacts in it is showing you the message.
Yeah.
And it's in layers. This is why it's multidimensional. So when you key in on this, and this is why some people feel like they're more from the future, some feel like they're more from the past, but whenever you can't, an Arcturian can't just pop in Arcturian and not have any connections to all the rest of it. It's impossible. It all started originally from all the way out in Vega, all the way out in Sirius B, or all the way out this direction and all the way out that direction. That's why everything down here is four corners. It's why there was a cardinal, it's a cardinal lineup to the ancients in the wheel, because they set the wheel. They became the wheel. Your ancients were the wheel. We talk about it in forms of going into cryo, and we talk about it in forms of being a vampire and having your brother stab you with a weird ass knife that knocked you out for 2,000 years. And you wake up and you're like, but whenever you start clearing these layers and connecting back in those energies, it's the whole damn reason you were here. It's why you're here. You're here to be the one to connect it and then you're shown a whole bunch of freaking dark ass shit. And some of it you have to walk out because it's all the shadow stuff of what happened last time so that you don't make the same mistake this time. And the way that they were running the Matrix was just whatever happened before.
Right? Rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat.
But it's
So
never
I don't know
the
if that
same the
answered
same
your
time.
question, but this explains. Keep reading the questions. Let's do a couple of more, and I'll shut up as much.
All right, which one was he on again?
I tell you what, I want you to do my Saturn retrograde. Give me
All
number
right.
7, Bellatrix.
I got you.
You gotta watch out with those foxes.
All right, we got
How
Gemini.
about that? How
7.
about that movie? With Foxy Brown. That's kind of Bellatrixian. Foxy
Yeah.
Brown's a little bit of Bellatrixian. Hunger Games is it all day.
Okay. All right. So, do you have a feeling of being both from the future, but at the same time, knowledge of the ancient past?
Y'all, this is Gemini. It's dead on at 20 degrees Gemini. There's 5 energies in Gemini. This one is 17 degrees to 21 degrees of Gemini. So it's a second generation in the Matrix formed from the descendants of the ancients. It's a second generation of the Matrix. Yeah, formed from descendants of the ancients. Yeah, it's the
There you go.
Bellatrix. I'm giving it to you right now. So you really are like your parts were used to make this son of a bitch.
Got to use
The
something.
kids here are laughing at me because everything, I will make everything. Somebody says one sentence and I'm making a song.
Right.
You're always singing everything, Tanya. And I'm like, yeah, it's way more fun this way.
Well, and you're rhyming because you're picking up, because in this Bellatrixian energy, like because it's the matrix field.
Yeah.
It's like it is the matrix field connected into Beltigis. It's like it allows you to kind of walk like this. And so even when a spell comes, like I'll know, like the songs that I've written all were at very specific times. And now I know whenever I start rhyming, I'm clearing some Bellatrixian codes. Bellatrix is all this quantum shit that the Masons used, and all this weird ass crap, and phonetic overlays, and Bill Belichick and Beatrice, that character Beatrice, even with Edward Scissorhands and Johnny Depp, that was always that woman. What is her name? She has that crazy hair, that crazy black hair, and she always plays
Winona Ryder.
Well, her too.
Oh,
But I can't think of her name. But her name, like Anne Princess Beatrice, and I mean it's Bellatrix.
right.
But if you go watch game tape of Belichick, he's over there doing quantum math. And if you go look at his team and how in football, normally this number is always the quarterback and this number's a
Mm-hmm.
team. And if you notice, it's all Tesla math. And so he's literally over there doing physics. What were they known for? Their air game. What happened? Deflate gate. Yeah, it's more like the Matrix was deflated so they could hit a path. There were children in our group when we were clearing this that were only like 5 years old that loved football, and he would come, and his name was Solomon, and so Solomon was like, "Oh, Bill Belichick, he had to take him on to the dirty house, Coco." They called me Coco. They had to take him all to a dirty house. I saw him in my dream. Before the game, he has to go to dirty houses. He takes all the players to the dirty houses. They tried to come to Coco's house, but the house was too clean. They had to go find a dirty house. Well, that's sexual. They were going to high-end DNA specific whorehouses that are women trained in order to channel this frequency, and that's what they were doing. Bellatrix.
Wow.
Oh, I'm reading the comments. What's the next question on that one?
Do you feel like others have things and you don't?
Because this is all the haves and have-nots. See, because you either once you got in there, it was like, are you going to play right? Are you going to do what we tell you to and give you 10%? Are you going to do it? Oh, we're going to give you all the power. See, this is so much similar to Zeta Reticuli, because Zeta Reticuli, it's that same energy. Like do you have your etheric body, or are you on a spaceship? Do you have superpowers, or are you, on a spaceship working for, floating out there? In Bellatrix, it's, are you in the matrix? Are people seeing you? Or do you have a spotlight on you? Is all your stuff getting seen? Or do they just have you categorized as the air?
No.
And that's the Hunger Games, and they had it set up. And literally, if you go watch the Hunger Games and then you look at the United States and you start mapping out burial tombs and it really does all set up that system in those gates. And then with all the light poles and the wires and and then when you turn that on to 5G, we're blowing car engines, ramming through them. But energetically, this is also why there's not a wall there. You can get out of town, but Bellatrixian energy is gonna make it feel like you never have enough money to leave. You gotta get all this money to get out of town. This is and a lot of people fall for that, right? Thinking that they have to have all this money saved up in order to drive 10 hours to go da 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 da. They got to have $10,000 to leave home. But even, I don't know, do you have medications? You got to stay close to your pharmacy. You got to stay close to your bank. Where's your bank at? Now you can do banking online, but in the old grid system, I mean, the bank was in the middle, and they would have, the people would all come to the bank because you're an energetic ant laying energetic dust.
Right. Well, I get it. It's crazy, eh?
So that's Bella. I mean, we were all, and this is where Jupiter's been.
Yeah.
This is where Jupiter's been for a while. And what Bellatrix has, though, is 33 and 44 phonetic codes. But this is where Ma'at comes in, and this is even the changes that are being made right now still in all this stuff is the flipping of it to a 44 phonetic, just so we can kind of raise it up to get control of it all.
Yeah.
But and that's why I say, but the good news is with Jupiter in this is at least everyone's getting lined up to the timeline that they're energetically matched with. And Bellatrix, it's all energy. So it's like at least all of us backing up into Jupiter right now, because it's just how it ended up. In Bellatrix, it's aligning all of us into an energy current to see what needs to happen next. And so instead of, I don't know, it says here that you're supposed to do time for 20 million years. See?
Wow. Are you an adrenaline junkie? I don't even have that in mind, and I'm an adrenaline junkie.
Because in this energy is like bonsai.
Kamikaze, man, let's
you
go.
you end up realizing when you're really in it, like when you're really breaking out, you're really not there. You can really do anything, jump out of the sun, but it's whenever you get to Cancer and you start stacking your body up again that you got to be a little bit more careful. But if you stay a firefly,
Shine your light.
right?
Do you have feelings of being undercover and somehow linked into realities of government and entertainment?
Because it's the Bellatrixian, and realize that in World War II, the whole thing that started World War II with the propaganda codes is that Hitler stole Mickey Mouse. Well, this is also even Mary Magdalene's plantation and the group that was there. in right outside of Baton Rouge, New Orleans, and the Louisiana Purchase, and us specific bloodlines getting sold to the government, basically.
Yeah.
And all of this started getting formed. I can't remember what I was talking about.
Being an adrenaline junkie. Or undercover, rather.
Oh,
Sorry.
yeah.
Government realities.
So this is, and I was talking about Mickey Mouse, because it had gotten to the point, and that's why our DNA was so hunted,
Right.
because it can form in any energetic. It creates the body template, and it's attached into the human race. And so this is when we start talking about Elvis and Britney Spears and Taylor Swift, and even my character, Christy Genzel, and how I was written in by masonry.
Right.
You know, there's specific ones of us that are those Leo, because it's like your ancestors are sending you all of that energetic in order to be that.
Right.
I didn't have Regulus, and I in this natal chart I have number 14. But if I go back to which is the new Regulus, but my draconic, I have number 13. My Saturn retrogrades on it. So see, in my draconic chart, my program was bringing back in the Regulus program. Well, the Regulus program is going to be what all your kings and queens in the base root of all financial systems across the board were built on over time.
Right. Yeah.
So but realize you're holding that energetic in your field.
Right. Okay. So what is your specialty of making money with your matrix gifts?
See, we were all like really good salespeople, and we just thought that we had these natural abilities to do things, and that's how we were doing it. In Bellatrix, because you're made into the matrix, and depending on how many layers you've opened up in your field, right? Because if you're Bellatrixian and you have this energy, then you always go to the grocery store and ring up 2222. Your codes and your times match up insanely on and stuff's always happening to you when you're in a shopping area or in commerce. When this energy is starting to hook into you in the wheel, everybody, when this energy is hooking into you, this is the energy that whenever you walk into a store and nobody's there, and you walk in and then you turn around and it's like there's gangbusters around you. They all follow you because energetically they're following you, kind of like into different time counts. Well, but the stuff that happens at the stores and the stuff, because those are grids. Because there'll be like a banking grid, then there'll be a grocery grid. They want you to drive to here, to here, to here, and then they're all owned by independent whatever, and then that energy is contracted and harvested. Basically, I'm telling you the same thing that Allie Carter's telling everybody about how they were selling off sexual energy, except I'm explaining to you that you've been laying your ancestral energy in these grids since the existence of your bloodline down here, and that's what they're really after.
Right.
Because what you're doing whenever you're putting your star energy in, no matter if you have this energy or not, is you're energetically getting shifted in order to align to the right energy when you come into Cancer. But in our world, you're in the matrix and you're like a firefly zipping around, and you flip timelines by going to a store and doing a money transaction. You clean everything by cleaning your money. You can't have, if you have a lot of dirty money, it'll make you sick.
So this also relates to what they're creating with these 15-minute cities. So here in Edmonton, it's like everything's these outdoor shopping plazas, and they're all connected in specific areas. And we were talking about it, and Dan's like, oh yeah, everything is 15 minutes for me. And I'm like,
See, over
But
here where
still
I
not
am,
really.
it's all these little, I call them Tic Tac stores. It's all these really weird little fast food places that randomly sell like one thing, tea. And then the other one's like an ice cream swirl or something, but a salad, but they're little bitty tick. See, see, this
Yep.
is it's like it's manifesting in the physical over here where I am in where I am. But in this energy, no matter, it's whenever, because like as soon as you break out of the matrix, okay, like everybody realize, as soon as you break out of the matrix, you can change the matrix a lot faster than you can later on. You you can't, if you don't understand this energy, that's okay. Thing is, you're witnessing it because Jupiter's backing up into Bellatrix, and everyone's about to witness it because there's going to be adjustments made. And if you're running on the 33 now, you're going to know, because you've got to balance out those codes. Like this is how the system's set up, you know. But if you have this energy, then it's linked into the root races of the planet and what you would call the giants that were bound in the center.
Mm, yeah.
It's like we're the descendants of that
Mm.
that are now inside a structure that is ourself. This sounding familiar?
Right. Yeah.
It was just set on 33 settings. And see, I originally, whenever I knew, and this is telestai, this is in the Bible. This is even the numeric system and the numerology system. And because the first part of this, whenever I came in, that was the first thing we had to break. We had to undo all these codes that they had set up with their weird number system, but we had to take it back to the root of it and get the truth of it. And then this is why you see me, because in 44 it's ACB, not ABC.
Yep.
Is an example. So if when you change ABC to ACB, then that also changes JKL to JLK. JLK? You mean JFK?
Hmm.
JFK, and then STU. Because you can't change one and not change them all, because it's a system.
Right.
But it is a Babylonian phonetic key system that takes you up and down energetically as you're speaking these tones. So there was a 44 set that we had to put in on everything. And that is what all the timelines that the collective has formed from all the healings and da 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 da, which then turned into a parallel reality.
Yep.
And there were those of us that were always stretched in between it, or some of your energies are smacked in between it. And that is the rest of the answer to the question about, tell me about how the stars tune into your energy.
Yeah, absolutely. We've got a whole bunch more questions in very limited time.
Okay,
Can we hit on Lyra quickly, please?
You want liar 3, liar 1?
Pick one.
Start with Lyra 1 and do the first couple.
All right.
Do the first 2 questions in each one.
All right. This would be Capricorn 0 to 9 degrees. And the first one is closer to 0 degrees of Capricorn, the closer to original consciousness lines of projecting civilizations and large concepts linked to the universal body. Do others tell you to get out of their head about things? Did it make sense why they said it? Or are you just realizing?
So
I've had people
Lyra 1 energy is original root races and polis, and that's basically what we're resetting right now. Like, you're involved in resetting the original root races for the next million years. This is why our souls came back down here to do it. Those are resetting now. In the old wheel, Lyra 1 on the other side of polis is basically all made from the mind. It basically kind of is. In these lower, is made from the mind. So it starts out, it is original creator energy. but it really is in the old settings, like the originals on Netflix.
Right. All right.
And
So
it really is, because whenever you understand what ABO blood is, and you understand how the whole thing was vampiric. Whenever, but it's the original. Those are the original ones that even were kind of lost in the middle between life and death. And we've even realized now that, like, because a vampire isn't what you think it is. There are real vampires. It's real fucking real. Like, trust me on this, because I had to walk this shit. Like, I had to go into these catacombs. Like, this shit is real. But when you're an original, you're not a vampire. You're the source. So from even the divine feminine perspective, and I don't talk about this a lot, but in my journey, there was a point in time where I was getting pieces of myself back, and this is going to gross somebody out, so trigger warning. But I saw myself as a hunk of meat hanging on hooks and vampires feeding on me.
Wow.
And I freaked out at first, and then later on I went back, and it wasn't a couple of more days, but I went back and I was right next to myself, and I was like, "You're not dead. You have a head. Grow a head." And literally, I watched a blue head, like an avatar blue head, appear on top of the meat thing. My arms and legs shot out of the deal, and then I started running forward, and the chains were putting out of the wall, and I fucking blasted out of there.
right.
And that's what happened on the etheric layer, and that's what it looked like. But on the physical realm, it was just the process of everybody feeding off Earth and Gaia this whole fucking time. And
Right.
and the consciousness that was happening in what you'd call Mother Nature. However, if you hold this energy, then you are tested over time to make sure that you don't mind fuck people. And if you're around one of us that holds this energy real powerful, like a bunch of the girls who came along and were with me and working, they would have etheric conversations, usually in the shower, with what felt like guides dropping in going, "Okay, are you really believing this, or is she making you do it?" Like there's even if
Right.
you hold a lot of, but it is that mind, because it is the mind. You're holding the construct of the mind. So in this energy, you change a shitload of timelines for the masses really quick, and it matters. And if you have this energy, it matters what your opinion is. You ain't got to do fucking nothing about it. But if like, but each one of us in Lyra One will have different subsectors of topics, politics. Maybe you're keeping up with the car industry, or each one of us have our own little weird whatever the fuck that we get notified, almost like a bell notification of information that's coming in from that particular subject. And it's literally your job, in order to kind of watch over it and call in and call out whatever you don't agree with for the collective.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that makes
Okay.
sense. Go ahead.
Yeah. All right. Lyra 2. This is Capricorn 8 to 11.55 degrees and 15.55 to 18 degrees. So you tend to have more health issues than most, or you're around others who do. Ah, yes. I get you.
Lyra 2 is the one that's closer to Vega. And Lyra 2 is the second root race. So it would almost be like, I mean, if you were going to think of witches, it'd be what you would think a witch was. But it's not witchery, it's your body. Your when you hold Lyra 2, you're in the second root race. So you're connected to, it's almost like the ones who made Mickey Mouse. It's almost like from the thought, then the body is formed, and it happens right there at 8 to 9 degrees Capricorn. The body is formed, and then it's getting closer to Vega, because Vega sits in the middle, and Vega's the 22 star race energy. So this is also going to be elves and I mean, all of them, because Lyran started with everything. That's what's wrong. Like Lyra
Right.
Lyra was getting too much money for a sperm, y'all. And he went nuts. Then everybody began to be family with everybody. But Lyra too, it's you're doing body transmutation. So you're taking a thought and it's literally clearing through your field and body, which is why your body, botanicals, the people in this energy have wild Akashic libraries of healing remedies, medicines, botanicals, but you tend to get sick if you because you're in a healing current with a whole bunch of star people, whether or not you're doing healings or not, because it's an energy field that everybody's using as a transmutation. So it's like if you deny that you can heal and you rely on medicine, you're gonna fucking get sick because
Gotcha.
you have to remember that you can heal yourself. So there's variations, and the Lyra 2 energy that's on this side of Vega and the Lyra 2 energy on this side of Vega is from this fairy fae to what you talking about? Well, I double dog dare you to come over here and make my date. You know?
Right.
because
We've
because
seen
because
them.
once you make it through the bloodline in the Vegas side, on the other side, you know you're King Kong, you know you're Godzilla, like you're like, wow.
Don't mess with me. Don't come over here. Right.
But it's only because you're connected into that group that's over there in Lyra 2 that's holding that energy field, right? And then Vega's in the middle. So whenever you have this one on the other side, you're getting the benefits of this one and this one and this one. But then this character goes 369. And how many of us are here? 1, 2, 3.
Which takes us to Lyra 3, which is in my chart, which is the true
Y'all
Trinity
both have
degree.
this. A lot of y'all's group had Lyra 3.
So is the number 3 significant in your life?
Talk about that. Tell them.
Even
Yeah.
my cousin's like, I keep seeing 333, and I'm like, oh yeah, you do. She doesn't
Well,
realize how connected she is and how quickly she Oh, I always talk to the parking gods and ask for a parking spot. I'm like, that's manifestation. She picks up a poppy in the mall. And I'm like, were you wishing for a poppy? Yes. There you go. You manifested it. So I'm trying to point it out in different ways, but yes, lots of threes. Go ahead, Norma.
Yeah, no, I mean, the same thing here. I mean, remember whenever I came here and I was like, there was a time period that, I mean, it was like for a month, I was on this 3 thing. I said, something about 3. There's something about this 3. There's something about this 3. And I didn't know what it was. So of course, you know, I'm like just looking everywhere where, you know, something like the Trinity, you know, comes in, you know? So yeah, it was very significant for me, but you know, when we don't always have a way to bring that information together is like what we have right here, right now, as we're discussing this, it helps to be able to help the mind get a little more organized in the understanding of what it is relating to or what it may be connected into in order to help you to understand those energies that much more clearer. So you know and understand how to see them, know when they show up, because they show up. Just how aware are you of the energies when they...
Well, Lyra 3 is where the Pluto-Saturn convergence was in 2020 that set up this freaking shit show that we had playing down here. Because they needed it to keep running on a 369. Whenever you skip this part and you bring in Anne Rice and you tune a collective to vampirism in a fake propaganda codes that aren't really vampires, this is what they were doing. And
Right.
and then now you end up with these Lyra 2 characters that are all getting mixed and changed from a 22 bloodline race. Then you end up being the Father, Son, and the Holy Ghost.
Right.
And you end up being, but you're also 3 freaking people in 3 different dimensions down here.
Yeah.
And each one is set on a different body frequency setting. So
Right.
it really is also where changelings and werewolves and that shapeshifter energy actually comes from, because when even the wolf changes because of the moon change, and it changes because it has that DNA structure to make the change under that current.
Yeah.
So this is also that shapeshifter ability, and then you also and this is where you can't. This is where you also kind of become the Brahma dragon. I mean the Brahma,
Mhm.
because like you're having to master like all these different, and the Brahma or the three-headed dragon or whatever.
Yeah.
But you're in one body, but there's three heads. Well, that's because you were existing here in three different dimensions. Same story. But with every one of the Lyra sequences, like I don't care, and this is just everybody. So I mean, whenever, but what Lyra does have is it gives you instant information, almost like a download, like Neo.
Yep.
And it's
It does.
and when you clear through the, and remember, if you don't have this energy, then it's mastered. So you already have it. Your lines are like lining it up, because these are all the in between races that we're all made, that we're connecting into. But when you master these pieces, and on the way, you'll be shown that like some traumatic weird ass crap will happen in your world, but it's only to show you that you know what to do. It's only to show you that you know to do something, and you'll be shown how to do it, and you didn't never do it before, and you'll know how the F balls you knew how, and but you'll be shown that that's how connected you are, that when you need it, you get the Neo download.
Hmm.
Makes sense.
Fabulous. Go ahead, T.
Well, I was going to say, you guys are welcome to continue, but I've got to go to a dinner. So you
Have
guys
fun.
stay
Thank
on.
you.
Number 22 is the next one, Norma Jean, that's been asked about.
All right.
Yeah. So
We can do, what is it, 1:30, an hour 30? We'll
Yeah.
do two more. We can do two more.
Yep, we can do that.
there you go. All right. I love you
Have
guys.
a great
night.
dinner.
Love you too, T. See you later,
will.
love.
Bye.
All right.
And now it's down to 2.
That's okay. We got this. Momentarily. I know you heard T's voice. Sorry. The
the
dog
puppy.
heard T's voice. So she's like, where is she? I heard her. So number 22, Scorpio. Scorpio 2. Would it make sense to know you are a wizard or magician? What is your specialty?
I hate it that we talked about all these colors, these rays, and we weren't showing the colors.
Oh,
There's just so much. There's so many little things when we talk about these. Right. That's what I was looking for
The smaller deck.
Well, and this is where the sun is right now.
Right.
Oh, it's not doing it. I'm trying to, gotta get me out of this. It's blue and green.
Yep.
And it's like earth colors.
Yep.
And it's actually on my YouTube channel. I put the header to even bring him over here for this. It's in Scorpio, because Scorpio used to be eagle. Now we know that, well, and first of all, I mean, you got to remember there were periods over time where there weren't 12 houses.
Mm-hmm.
And even that telegram that you put out, talking about those 8 immortals, well, that would be the original 8 houses, and your connections to the ones that were tied down in and energetically were the ancients in the pyramids, your connection into those lines through the mummies, blah 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 blah, right? Because it's laid in sedation to bring it back.
Right.
It's how you reincarnate. So Scorpio is all about ancestral magic and the use of it. And whenever I say magic, I mean alchemy. And when I say alchemy, you think that only means some type of sorcery or weird ass shit.
Right.
And the truth is, everything was bound up in some type of energetic alchemy. And what you end up learning is that every single freaking thing that it was ever created here was all created by, different thought processes and how to name it. And it's a process to get it here. And, so Scorpio won at the beginning, and so this is even us just celebrating holidays. This is us just using last names. This is us just using driver's license and what that really means and the energetic spell that's behind it, because Scorpio is running Taurus. So when Scorpio fell, because it was at Eagle, so it was soaring. Well, when it fell into the shadow, when we started having to clean the shadow stuff, and then especially after 1973 down here is when it really went conk 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 again. But everything was set up to do it, to take it lower and lower and lower. But that energy is how we were all wound up in all these different magic spells and systems, and this is how they were still doing spells on us. The collective got out of this last one. We did it as a collective to get out of that weird whatever the F balls, that whatever was going on down here the last 4 years. At the beginning degrees of Scorpio, that's number 21, and that energy is baby blue and white, and it literally is like clouds. And there's only white in 3 energies, and it happens to be one of them. So the very beginning of Scorpio, like 0 degree Scorpio, is you're walking through a fog. 1 degree Scorpio, in your consciousness, you see a chest, but you don't know how to open it. 3 degree Scorpio, you got the chest, you got the key. 5 degrees Scorpio, but see, it doesn't even matter that you didn't open it. That energy's still in your field. You just don't know what it is.
Right.
9 so then as you're stepping, then you get to 5 degrees. Well, what's 5? Change. So that's when you start mixing shit. And then when you get to 12 degrees to 16 degrees, that's where it was cast. So that's where it kind of all went into the pot. So if you're in 12 to 16, which does fall in Scorpio too, so you're in the spell at the very beginning degrees of Scorpio too.
Right.
And in Scorpio 2, the further that you get up Scorpio 2, you can think of it as like the tip of a wand, the energy coming off a wand. But the major difference in Scorpio 2 is that you're learning to master Scorpio. And in order to master Scorpio, you have to witness what you're producing. So whenever you have Scorpio 2, it shows up in your life.
Right.
If they're gonna send Freddie to you, and if they're gonna send Freddie to our collective, then the people that have Scorpio 2 are gonna see Freddie first.
Right.
If you're manifesting your whatever, and if you notice, something probably always changes around May or November, because something new is showing up, whether you like it or not, good or bad. Your magic is showing up for you to deal with it. Because what we realize really quick is be careful what you wish for, because then you got to manage your creation. Because if you create it, then you're responsible for it.
Right.
And so what this does is teach us as humans to be careful what we wish for, because then you've got to deal with it. And so you learn lessons through that, and then you start learning how to energetically manipulate that, actually from Sagittarius. Because but when you're first cleaning Scorpio, you won't be worried about Sagittarius. You're just like, Jesus Lord, let's just get through Scorpio. That's because the first time that you're breaking up Scorpio, all that carbon's going out, and you're having to deal with it and transmute it.
Right.
It might even, the dog needs to go outside.
She's wanting to play. She's getting bored.
Oh, okay. So anyway, that's Scorpio 2, and you're a wave runner. I call it the wave runner. Your energy literally runs currents.
Right.
And whenever you have this energy, it's real easy to get buried in emotion, because you're in a whole bunch of waves. So what you learn is how to like break up break up that energy and you dance, or this is people, Scorpios and their sexual
Transition.
energy and whatever it is, but you're energetically, you're like a big O keeping it going when you have this energy. That's why it's showing up to you first.
Right. Yeah. Does this like kind of relate to a little bit of like, when you was hitting upon the ID thing, it was like understanding in that alchemization that you kind of switched the I am for ID, kind of like a little bit of the alchemization there, just depending on how you
Well,
were
and then it's
utilizing that energy.
dentification, which
Yeah.
has to do with dentistry and I mean, it gets deep when
Yeah.
you start going into identification
Right.
and instead of I am. That was the problem.
Right. Because then it's like, oh yeah. I mean, I hear what you're saying. I do. I mean, it can get so deep, especially within understanding how these energetics created this over here. And then somehow that energetic took and moved it away over here to utilize it over here, because it couldn't stay here because there was not the right or the proper
And
stuff there to hold it.
and if you and whenever we're moved and switched from family lines, which we all were, because none of us down here with the original family lines that were the original of fucking anything. Like nobody even
Right.
knows those names anymore, But and now I can't remember what I was saying. Just
Yeah, I get it. It's all right.
we've been on a while.
Yeah.
Identification. Oh,
Right.
you don't know. You don't know what family you came. If you show up and you're like, okay, here I am. I'm in this family. You see these babies on TikTok and they look pissed off. They're like, I
Right.
ain't supposed to be here, man. These people ain't got no money.
Look.
but it is like that.
Mm-hmm. And can we recognize the energies that people utilize in order to, to tie into a collective, to be able to do that for themselves? Because, and of course, we've had those conversations. So, yeah.
Is the person still on that wants number 22, or we want to table that for next time?
We just did 22, love.
Oh, that was 22. I was
Yes.
thinking 23.
No.
Oh,
22.
Good. And that's also 22, the manifestation number. For some reason, I was thinking of Fuchsia's one. Because what we didn't, and see, we talked about a lot of, we went high and low.
Yeah.
And so we'll see how, if you guys like this, let us know.
Yeah.
If you guys like, because there's way more energies. There's
Way.
32. So we can go back and do different ones and keep talking about it this way. And then see if we want to continue doing it this way.
Yeah, no, yeah, of course, and any and everybody, just know that in our description, whenever you go back to watch this, we have our Telegram link in there. We'll have the CoHue link in there. We have the link to I think to Tanya's TikTok, because I don't think she's got one really established for Adventures for Connection. But any and all information you need, once you come into Telegram, I am in the process right now of whenever I'm fixing to redo the Rosebot. That way, when new people come in, they'll have the chance and opportunity to be able to check out CoHue32, be able to go and check out, Adventures for Connection. We're still in the process of getting things situated and created where this can be that one package deal. We're still working these energies. We're just kind of waiting for them to kind of settle, see where we are, see how we want to present this to y'all, to be able to have this as a bundle, to be able to get your chart done and and be able to come over here and
have some
guidance.
support through it, because
Yes.
the thing is, it's like your energy, what you're doing is controlling it by your frequency when you blow your field. But when you blow your field, you are blowing your field, and you got to do it. It's like a blister getting popped. If it's a big ass blister, there is no way you're gonna have to pop it. But and you're gonna feel if it first happened, you might feel underwater for a minute. If the more power that you have, the more underwater you're gonna feel like. It's gonna be no way in hell that we can even convince you while you're in that energy. You're gonna deny it completely. You're going to think that none of your, because whenever you're in that energy, breaking out of those lower energetics, it's been on you for so fucking long. It's not that the energy hasn't changed. It's that your habits are used to doing certain things. So I'm
Right.
guided real quick to end with this. If you feel disconnected and you need, we're in the matrix, and we're used to these sequences and we don't realize it. You don't realize, if you've been tuned to one energy for a really long time, you don't realize that you're only getting one energy ray. So
Yeah.
when I call it logos energy, and when you have a logos energy, when you get a push like we are right now, just because of
Yeah.
where Mars is and the whole process, if you want to shake your hands,
Yep.
and you want to stand up and do 12 jumping jacks, okay? And that gets you just kind of moving around. Do as best you can. I know people have different things that they can't do, but let me tell you why each one. So shake your hands, 12 jumping jacks. Then I want you to turn to the right 12 times, humming a song. Then I want you to 12 left, humming a different or same song. I don't care. Just hum, make a noise. Then I need you to hang upside down. If you can do a forward roll, do a forward roll. If you can do a cartwheel, do a cartwheel. If you can't do that, then get on your bed, stomach down,
Okay.
so you don't fuck up your back. Stomach down, get your head upside down, and come back up. And what this is doing is shaking this up so
Right.
that these new energy frequencies can balance you out, because you were like, off on one side, because then it's normal. So this is a way to help connect that energy in. And then for all of you, just even when you start feeling density, starting to cry, get in your emotions, just woo, like you're a human. Raise the hue. Keep that energy up. Right now, that's your only job. Just keep the energy up around you and stay comfortable with where we're at right now. That's all you can do right this very second. Hi,
Thank you.
puppy.
Thank you. Thank you. No kisses.
Aw.
This is
Hi.
BB. I am puppy sitting. That's the reason why whenever she heard T's voice, she was barking over there because she's missing her mom and she's missing T. So I'm not the norm. She knows me, but I'm not the norm. So, but yes, thank you. Thank you for being here again with us, Chastia. It's such an honor
Hey, we're
to.
doing this together, and I'm grateful to all of you,
Yes.
because it's what it's drawn to me. What's really cool about what's happening right now that all of you are going to be witnessing to is, I know that you kind of can't, you're getting pieces right now, but you're going to start really noticing what we're changing.
Mm-hmm.
And especially with the astronomy, because it really, it's like when we do healings and we teach it, it gives us energy to create. I mean, it's a back and forth process. And so you guys coming in with this group and help and there's so many. I know there's going to be 4 different books written on this framework, because there's like a physiology approach to it, there's a body approach to it. This is just the energy and how it hits your brain, and then how that makes you manifest certain experiences when you're hooked into the energy.
Yeah, especially when you understand how to alchemize that through the body, and
And
you know
see
how
that,
to do
which is
that
going to be
anyway.
its own other mastery, like that y'all
Right.
are going to, so
Yep. Yeah, because I understand that, because I know that even whenever we're using a body, you got to understand whatever to be able to master that is to understand the mastering of the alchemization process. So that way, you know that whatever it is you're utilizing, you're not taking it too much from another place, because there is that other side that takes place, that because that's the that's the universal law of polarity of this place.
well, and you're
Of
in an
contrast.
etheric body and an etheric your body and an etheric body, and whenever you need to blow up to a galactic bird, you can.
Yep.
And then you shrink yourself back down. We don't always have to. I mean, that's kind of the point.
Yeah.
You know, we that's why it was all out war to stop us from fixing it, because those other lines wanted to hold the power and become giants again. We're like, no, I'm sick of the doing, like, everyone can get their brains back now, please. Like, I don't want to be responsible for the birthing of your human race anymore. How
No.
about we just go Enoch on everybody and give everybody back the keys? And then that happened and everyone didn't want to know about it. Nobody wants to change any, you know, it's like, but now that we did, and this is what's happened, you know. But I mean, it is a process. So
Yeah.
and
Yep.
thank y'all. We're
Yeah.
getting it. It's all happening.
Yeah. And, you know, and this is the beauty of the process, is knowing that, you know, the individuals like ourselves that are here, and we're coming out and we're putting this information forward and out here for everyone to understand. This is for you to be able to do live now. It's yours. It's yours. Do what you will with it, but understand it will manifest for you.
Well,
No
and
matter
like
what that
all
is.
like this group that I'm waiting for to do these last 6 or 7 charts. Like, there's a reason I'm having to. I mean, I talk to y'all know it, like every day.
Mhm.
I'm like, I want to get these done, and I'm like, oh God, I gotta wait. I physically like can't do it.
Right.
And I think it's because Venus is coming through all of this. We've got to get into Capricorn, and then and all of them are like the story that I'm getting over here. If you're on my YouTube channel, that's what I'm showing up. And all that data that I'm getting is from opening all y'all's charts. Because when I open all of them, then I basically am I'm in the construct of it.
Yes.
And then I'm building. So it really is making not only a cosmic net, but one that's holding an energetic frequency. And so you really do start feeling kind of other people coming into the energy and those types of
Mhm.
things. But I know that what we've done over here is create kind of its own a sandbox of it, to where we're able to assist on a smaller scale on these tweaks, instead of having to deal with it for the next 10 years to figure it out.
Yeah.
And that's what astronomy allows you to do, because it'll break it open so you can true up now. Who fucking cares about the rest of that old shit? The whole point is that old crap is like, who are you going to be now? Well, if you show up as, I can promise you, if you show up and tell everybody you're Christ down here, they won't believe you.
Nope.
If you know, it's like, and in the top was, and I'll end on this, we can end on this, but in the top layers of this thing, this pyramid thing in the consciousness, is this was a race and a game and da, da, da.
Right.
When I got, it was a vision. I'm walking around, I'm in the highest part, I know I'm in the highest part, and I see beings walking around dressed like Moses. I see one dressed like Yahshua, you know, all these like old biblical characters. And they're all talking to each other because they can't figure out why I have all the power and I'm floating above them, but I'm dressed like Tom Cruise in a flight suit from Top Gun.
You know, you could have showed up as Laura Croft. I'm just saying.
Well, in the energies, it's like that story ended. These guys picked it up and kept doing shit with it. That's
Right.
why they ended up having whatever. But it energetically, it's like, as far as the energy being and the highest ones that you were able to obtain, that wasn't it. It was all the hybridized stuff, you know, that makes you who you are in this reality for the mission that you're on now.
Yep. And that's the beauty to this process, is being able to, you know, that's what we're here to do, is just help remind you or help you remember where you are, what's taking place, what's going on, why you're at where you're at. And this is for you. And you know, like I said, there's going to be times you're going to get frustrated, but I guarantee you it's going to get more and more where you're going to become more engaged, because you're going to see the excitement in what you're capable of as you go through these processes and these energies. I mean, last night I had a huge shift last night, and, you know, and I keep having them. And it's because it's like, I mean, I've never, only a few times have I felt my body breathe. But last night I felt every bit of my body just take this huge breath. And it's almost like what it was for me is, all right, let's go. Let's get this done.
Right.
And for, in the conversations that we've had is, like I've said, this is where we're bringing everyone who is on that level that wants to be able to present this information in a way that says, hey, here, this is for you. Take and do what you need to utilize so we can continue on understanding how to create this new earth that we all speak, that we're wanting to experience. This is not about being separate and one individual way over here telling this story and nobody else finding out about it. This is about, I'm done. I'm done playing this game. I'm done with this.
Well, whenever you're dealing with
bullshit.
star energies, that's the root of it all.
Mm-hmm.
So whenever you want it, if you want to do this easy and slow, getting you, it's just getting your directions.
Yep. And getting behind that
And
wheel.
the main thing is your etheric body. You didn't realize you didn't have an etheric body. You didn't know that you did. You don't realize why you want it.
I'm beginning to become more and more connected to that in my travels, because
But
more.
what's so great about the way the consciousness works now too is we work in units.
Mhm.
It's like we're so tuned into everything, and we're creating and responding in even this negative time sense now. Okay.
Yep.
And so we don't have to stay large. You don't have to blow up into a gigantor being and hold that etheric state all of the time and like
Right.
knock down. It's more like whenever you need it, then you're going to get a flush, but then you got to remember that you've got to share it with other people and
Right.
that you don't even know. But the good news is you can come in and out of it. You don't have to stay on 24/7.
Right. No.
When you
'Cause
do
got
it correctly. When you do it correctly.
No. That way you're not going from one extreme to another.
Well,
finding
it's
that
just when the
balance.
cosmos opens up and hits one of those gates, it goes way out to Alpha Draconic or whatever. Then your etheric body is holding the floor of that for everybody else. So
Yes.
it doesn't fall all the way down. But you're also getting the power of that from your line in some way.
All right. Well, I guess we want to end this here. We've been on here for quite some time, but this is the beauty of this is, we let it just play out and see what comes of it, because there's always a message and there's always a purpose and there's always a divine timing. So everyone, thank you so much for being here. This will take place again, and like I said, if you want to be able to get a DJ chart done, if you've not, please go to www.CoHue32.com and check out, go to the shop, and you'll be able to just
The
look and
menus
see
are there
what you
too. These are old. These are the old ones. We're going to be doing new ones. These are the originals. So if you have it, really when you know how to pull your chart, so literally with the coloring book, or even if you order this, we send you a piece of paper how to pull your chart. With this, you can even hold your own sessions with people.
Mm-hmm.
You really can.
Yeah, because it's about working with others to help them just to understand just the energetics of
Well,
this.
and you
Even if
end
they
up
don't
learning
get
the energies
that too.
because all you do is pull their, and it used to take me 3 hours to do it, y'all. Like, I mean, it takes some time in the beginning, but you pull their energies, but then you just go through and read them the questions. And then as the healer, you hear them responding, and it's teaching you. You're seeing it. So you end up learning them and filling in all these little stories that all of them have.
Right. All right, because there's going to be more than one that owns them and knows them and has experienced them. All right, everyone. Thank you for being here.
Bye.
We'll see you next time. All right. Love y'all.